I'm living proof that we're in a simulation. Let me explain how. Now, apart from the documents that the CIA leaked that we're in a simulation, you can also prove that we are in one. Now, you might have heard the term called synchronicity, coined by the psychiatrist and psychotherapist Carl Jung, who had a once profound experience with one of his clients who was describing their dream about a gold bug, and as it was occurring, a gold scarab was hitting the window. Now, a lot of people would see this as a sheer coincidence, when in reality, this is just a way of the universe saying that this is all a dream, this doesn't really matter, you're on the right path, or you're not in control. Now, I have a huge list of these synchronicities that could not be explained by science, okay, especially with the probability of these occurring, and I want to share some of them with you. Now, the best way for these things to occur in your life, if you want to have these synchronicities, is to completely let go of control, focus on your heart space, and focus on your higher calling. I work as an Uber driver, and one example was the other day when I had a rider who I had for the second time in 2 weeks, and the first thing he said was, wow, this doesn't really happen often. And so I challenged the idea that maybe this could be a synchronicity. And as that was happening, I was telling him all about all my experiences, all my synchronistic moments, these crazy stories, which I could get to later. And he would continuously explain that I don't like to think about it too much because it would just linger his mind. And that maybe this whole thing, we could be just insignificant in this whole experience. And when he said that, I said, well, just like an ant or a bee, there is still significance in the greater universe. And as that was occurring, someone walked by with a t-shirt saying, "Save the bees." Now, what are some of the stories that I told him that really blew my mind? Over the last month, I've had crazy synchronicities that I just cannot fathom, really. One being where I was driving behind a McLaren, okay, with some passengers, just admiring it, thinking how beautiful this machine is, and then 2 hours later, I see the same McLaren parked up in front of my house. Wow. Another story where I'm walking around my block at night with my dog, and I see a Jeep, this vehicle that I thought it was my friend's, and as I looked closely, turns out it wasn't. But the next day, I see another Jeep, which happened to be my friend's car, parked a few cars away from that same Jeep, who never ever parks there. Come on. Another crazy story was the last few days. I've been seeing a lot of number plates with 333. You could call them angels numbers, right? Or just reassurance that you're on the right path. And one afternoon, I see the number plate 333 right in front of me, and I think to myself, what is the universe trying to tell me? What mind games are you at? And then 2 seconds later, another vehicle goes right in front of me, back to back. These same cars have 333 on their number plate. Wow. Then the next day, a car parked in front of my car has 333. Or the one time where my client and his sister, they're trying to fight over a name, okay? His sister wants to name her dog, okay, a Labrador, with the same name that he wants for his own newborn daughter. And one day in one of our sessions, I said, how is you and your sister? Because they hadn't talked for a while because they were fighting over this name. A Labrador comes past, okay, with the same name as his youngest newborn. So imagine that, his sister with a Labrador with the same name as his daughter, and a dog with a Labrador dog walking past with the same name as his youngest son. Just as I asked him. Or plenty of times with one of my friends who we are very receptive with this sort of experiences, where we'd have conversations, and when we spoke about this certain individual, they would walk past. You've had that before, haven't you? We have these things all the time, like where we think about a person and they call us, right? Like, that's such a crazy coincidence. Or when you want to find a really good parking spot in a very busy shopping center, and the moment you let go, you find the best spot in the shopping center. How crazy is that? Now, what does this mean? Do we still got to pay taxes and rent? This is just a great reminder of how powerful your mind is, and how every thought and feeling can create a ripple in this simulation, this matrix, whatever you want to fucking call it, and create your reality. Never underestimate the power of your own mind and how you can attract everything that you desire simply by just visualizing, feeling, and experience it before they happen. What are some of your experiences? Have you had these synchronicities or coincidences? Let us know down below.